are at the Welsh Organic Tannery today in Carmarthenshire, and we are meeting Steve and Emma who tan our sheepskins.
Hello.
Hi there.
So we'll go on in, I guess, and we'll have a look. I think you've got some of ours partway done, and show us some of the processes.
And take you through the process. So
Excellent.
come on in. Yeah, so here's where the skins come in, and the first thing we do is get the skins from the salt store, and we bring them into the tannery, and we get the skins and we put them out on the bench. And the first thing we do is visibly check the skin for any damage or any signs of disease, and then scrape any excess salt off.
Okay.
Because the skin's been salted at this point, it's been sent to us, and the first thing we need to do before we do anything else is to uniquely tag the skin so we know whose skin it is. Because we know from the salt store, the paperwork that's associated with it.
So you've got a paper tag in the salt store with a
paper
name.
tag and everything, and then basically we put a tag in. It's a simple sheep tag, and then that will go through around the rear leg area, and then we clip that in, and that tag will now stay on through the whole process. So we now know all the way through the process exactly whose skin this is. So obviously we can return to the right customer.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we are trying to be plastic free. It's the only plastic we use in the business at the moment.
Okay.
We have tried metal tags, but you'll see later on when we look at the fleshing wheel, unfortunately the metal tags were damaging the wheel. So the only thing we've found so far that doesn't damage the wheel but can stay on during the whole process is one of these tags. So it's the only bit of plastic we use at the moment. Visually inspect the skin quickly, and you'll see there is a hole in this one. So this one has got a hole in it where it's been taken off the animal. Unfortunately, when the slaughterman's taking things off, sometimes a knife can go through. All we'll do when we put this in the book, we'll write, skin number 515, the customer number, the holding number where the skin has come from, because clearly at this point it is still a raw animal product, and if there was to be an outbreak of disease, then we need to have all our records up to date so we know that we've got something from a farm or a small holding that's got a problem.
Okay. So do you get inspected by any government bodies?
Yes, so we get inspected by Animal Health. They come around every 2 years to do an inspection. Okay. And then we can be subject to a random inspection at any time.
That's the same for any tannery in the UK?
That's the same for any tannery in the UK.
And you're saying there's not very many left at the moment?
No, so we believe in 1984 there was about 284 tanneries in the UK. There's only 6 registered tanneries left in the UK now, and we are the only tannery left in Wales.
Right, okay, so right in the heart of sheep country, and
yes,
you are the only people really.
Pretty much, so yeah. But it is a mail order business. People send us send us skins via mail, by courier, and we've done skins as far away from the Isle of Skye.
There's a tannery in the Isle of Skye though.
I know there is, but they send it to us. Okay. And we've done some deer skins from Kent the other week, and from Newcastle upon Tyne. Okay. So it's not just Wales. And
so basically anywhere in the UK? Anywhere in
the UK. We have looked at overseas because there are no tanneries in Ireland.
Okay.
And we are obviously quite close to Ireland, being in West Wales.
Is that allowed? Are you allowed to ship the raw skins?
We are trying to work that out at the moment, but we're trying to work through the Irish government process, which is quite complicated. It's bad enough working out your own animal regulations in this country, let alone what it is in another country. So we have had requests from France as well. Okay. I think it's possible. We just need to work out how to do it legally.
Okay, great.
There you go. So we've tagged the skin now, and then this skin now needs to go into the washing machine. So
just with the salt on, you just...
Yeah, so we've taken some of the salt off. So any other bits of salt we just take off and pop into the bin there. But as much salt off as possible, and then we just fold her up, and then she'll come around and go into the washing machine.
So just a big kind of...
So it's a standard industrial washing machine, and realistically, what we have to, this is where you can work out how many skins you do at a time. Because if you don't have enough water in the washing machine, what can sometimes happen is all the hair belts together. Okay. So you have to have a certain level of water. Now, in here then, so normally I can get 2 large sheepskins, or say 4 or 5 lambskins, or 6 or 7 goat skins.
Right.
So it all depends, and this is where the skill comes in terms of by eye, you've got to work out before it goes in there how many can go in there. Because if you get it wrong and it will max on the first one.
Once they're matted, is there anything you can do? Not really.
It's difficult.
Okay, so you just don't want to get it wrong.
So best to err on the side of caution. So the skins will go in there, and obviously we'll get the other one and put that in as well. That will then get rinsed a couple of times until the water goes clear. It will then get washed in a organically certified washing powder.
Okay.
That will then get rinsed out, and then it will get spun out. So then you have a clean, dry sheepskin, which is then ready to be going into the next part of the process.
Cold wash or hot wash or?
So it's so the rinses are cold, but the wash is a sort of a warm wash around body temperature.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. Obviously, wool shrinks, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so treat it like a delicate. So around body. So the skins have come out of the washing machine after being washed, and they've sat in the pickle tank now for 24 hours. So now what we need to do is get the skins out of the pickle tank and spin the pickle out of them, ready for fleshing. Now the fleshing is where we take the fat and the extra sinew and all the waste material off the back of the skin, so we get down to the white of the skin, which then allows the tannin to actually penetrate into the skin.
Okay. So the pickles, literally, it just sits in here and you can use it lots of times. So lots of different skins go into it.
Yeah.
So it's not particularly wasteful or anything.
Not at all. And when we spin the pickle out, because there's quite a lot of pickle, you see the weight of that skin. It's pretty heavy. It's one of yours. Also there's a lot of pickle held in the fibres. So when we spin it out, we catch the pickle. We've got a drain diverter, and then we can put the pickle back into here. So that way it makes it more sustainable.
Definitely.
So just bring it up and just as much pickle out as possible. Yeah, we do it in stages.
I guess the sheep, when it's really wet, it's heavy, so it's heavy. When you stick it in a big tank, it's going to get a lot heavier.
And then we just squeeze out as much pickle as possible. Okay, so that's one out. And then here's another one in here somewhere. There you go. We don't need to go to the gym, you see.
Yeah. You don't need to now. So both hours? Both hours?
Yeah, they're both yours. Yeah. So these are 2 of your skins.
So I think this one must be the Great Bay Startmore, and I think this is the Devon Cornwall Longhorn.
Right.
By the looks of it, it's got more of a crimp on that one, and the dark one's tend to be straighter, I think.
Okay, so
that would be it.
Yeah, this is why we put tags on the sheep, because on the skins, because
they get a bit blurred otherwise.
They look the same to us after a while. So there you go. So we leave those there to drain for a few minutes, and then we can put them in the washing machine to spin them out. That's the pickle solution going in on the spin cycle. So what we try and do there is just take the pickle solution out of the skin before we flesh it. So this is now just going to go in the spin. So it's been for about 9 minutes. Sometimes it takes a while to balance itself, but the machine's quite intelligent. It works itself out after a while.
Okay.
So
just because it's quite an even weight, is that what you're
yeah. So then again, you're always trying to think about how the weight works in the machine. So when you're loading the machines, it's not just about how much you're putting in there. It's about the weight. So it's very difficult to do one, for example.
Okay.
Because it will never balance itself.
Okay.
Because it's like when you try and wash a pair of trainers in your washing machine at home.
Yeah.
It all kind of gets out of sync.
Okay, so you have to plan that in essentially.
Yeah, so you're always mentally thinking, how's that going to work in the washing machine? So when you take things out of the salt store, you're always trying to think, how's that going to work through the process?
Okay.
Because you've got to try and have a balanced process all the way through.
So what happens if you've got a really big alpaca skin? You presumably only fit in one, do you?
Yeah, so sometimes we would put a couple of small goat skins in, or something like that. So that's now just spinning away, and if you look at the bucket going in here, we can now show so any pickle that will come out, we don't put down the drain, it will come out into the bucket. So we just catch the pickle, and then we can reuse that pickle back into the.
And you can reuse that lots of times, or?
Yeah, I mean we generally, again, it's about how much you've used in the pickle, but when it's we generally change it every sort of 4 or 5 months.
Okay, so it lasts a long time then, so
yeah.
it's worth saving anyway.
Yeah, so because it just keeps the cost down, and obviously that stops that going down to, because this drain here actually drains down to, through a reed bed down to our pond.
Okay.
So yeah, which I can show you after I had a couple of So they're the skins that have just finished having all the pickle spun out from the pickle tank. So we'll take these out now and then put them next door, ready to get them fleshed. And the bit I always just remember to do is to grab the bucket of pickle and put that up. Ready for the next ones. So what we're trying to do now is we've taken the skin out of the pickle tank, and we've caught the pickle out of it, and you can see now on the back. So this is the skin. There's lots of kind of fatty deposits and bits of flesh and sinew, and we've got to get all those off to get the skin back to the white of the skin in order to allow the tannin to sink in. So the first thing we'll do is just have a quick look at the skin, just to make sure there's no damage on it. And you'll see here where the tail has been cut out, where it was slaughtered. What I will do, I will just chop this bottom bit here, because I can't flesh that bit there, because that's too thin, and that will change the shape of the sheepskin. So what we'll do, we'll just make a cut there, because you've got to be thinking about the shape of the skin at all times. You can see immediately how that's opened up the bottom of the sheepskin. Yeah. And again, you just take that cut off there.
It's obviously quite hard getting it flat, because obviously it's a fully kind of
exactly.
shape, isn't it? So.
Yeah. So at this point, you've got to be trying to think as flat as possible.
Yeah.
Now, again, when you come down the legs, you'll see at the end of the legs, there's kind of like a curly part, and again, that won't lie flat because you've got where it's been wrapped around the leg. So again, what I tend to do is just make a little chop and just take that bit off there as well. And I'll do the same on the other side. So again, I'm always looking at the skin to make sure it's as symmetrical as possible. Again, take a cut there, and I've got a centre line there, and that to me looks symmetrical. Yeah?
Yeah.
And again, I'll just bring the skin up, and again, where you've got the front legs, that's the neck part up here. Yeah. And you can see we've got a nice lump of fat there.
So that's exactly what you're looking to remove, is that?
Yes, but we'll remove everything on here.
Okay.
And again, you'll see here where the front legs were, we've got these kind of like two little tassels. Yeah. I will take those two off as well, just so we get a nice sheepskin shape. Because you always want the sheepskin to end up looking like, you get the leather symbol. Yeah. That's the image you've got to have in your mind. Okay. So you've got that shape of a piece of leather. Yeah. That's mentally what you want to be looking for.
Well, that's essentially what you're making at this point, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you just need to be aware of the end process, the end product, rather.
Exactly. So what we've got here is a fleshing wheel, and this is what we use to take off the excess fat and tissue on the back of the skin. This is a very sharp blade that spins very quickly. It's a bit like a meat slicer, but it's through 90 degrees. And the idea is that we take the skin and we pass it across the front, and that will take off all that excess fat and tissue. It takes microns of fat off, and it's a bit of a skill to get right, because if you get the angle wrong or you don't move it fast enough, then you put a big hole in the customer's skin. So this is a part that, hopefully it's going to look quite easy. Infamous last words.
So this is one of the parts that it could go wrong.
It could go wrong, yes.
If we distracted you too badly.
Indeed. So the trick is to try and keep the skin as tight as possible. Because if the skin is not, and that's why I'm wearing gloves, because these got extra grip on. Okay. So it's just really to get that tightness, because you've got to get tight as a drum. So as you slide it across, it takes it off. So again, it's all about having the skin ready for you. So I'll start in the middle, I'll work all the way down, and then we'll come around and do the side. So I'll turn the pressure on. So what you do, get that skin nice and tight, and then just start sliding the wheel over, and you'll see there, it's just starting to take off.
You can see it's really.
Yeah, so it's just taking a little bit off. It's not getting in too deep. That's literally just taking off these microns of fat off the back and sinews, because we're trying to expose that white of the skin,
Right.
because that will allow the tannin, which is the vegetable tannin, to go into the skin.
Okay,
Because at the moment, this fat will stop the tannin penetrating the skin.
Okay.
Okay? So again, just carry on working down.
So you work down the middle line first?
Yeah, I mean, my little system is I kind of work down the middle line first, and then just keep going, because you just get the tension right all the way down the skin. I'll go back and do that bit again.
Because you're still thinking about getting it flat at the end, essentially?
Yes. So, and then once you've gone down the middle, I then just turn the skin through 90 degrees, and then just start coming down the outside. So you can see here, we've actually got some slightly larger bits of fat
Yeah.
that I need to get off. So again, it might be a couple of little goes, and my philosophy on this is better to do a couple of small cuts rather than try and go for a big cut.
Yeah.
Because if you go for a big cut and you get it wrong, then clearly you're going to make a hole.
And there's nothing you can do at that point. The skin's wasted at that point. So
Well,
you
it's
really
not-
want to try to avoid.
well, it's not wasted,
that part
but-
of the skin would
yeah.
be.
But then obviously you do have a hole in the skin. So you can see here, there's a big lump of fat. So I'm just trying to.
Is that pretty standard?
And it all depends, you know. I mean, we get some sheep that are, you know, really fatty. I mean, that's like a big lump of fat that's just come off.
So I suppose an older sheep or something? Or...
Yeah, it can be, and you know, it's down to diet, and you know, no two animals are the same, as you know. You know, and it is, and that's the thing about this whole process. It isn't a one-size-fits-all process. It is very much a, you know, each skin we have to do individually, because every skin is different.
So you build up experiences. You've done hundreds and thousands of them.
Totally.
And then you know you'll have an idea of how each skin will react based on what it looks like for different parts of the process.
Exactly. And but you know, sometimes we get, you know, sometimes skins do surprise us and they take longer, or but this is why, you know, when we put on our price list that, you know, we charge more for rams, for example, because the rams do actually have much thicker skins.
Because they're older, or because of more testosterone?
More testosterone.
Okay.
So you know, a ram skin would be 2 or 3 times the thickness of a ewe skin.
Okay.
So blokes do have thicker skins. So you can see I'm now just working down the outside, just, you know, taking that fat off where I can, keeping it tight at all times. And you don't have to get every single little bit off, but you're trying to get, you know, the majority of it off, whilst not making any holes in the skin. So when I first started this took me over an hour of skin. So you can see I've got a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you're a good kind of third of the way through, I guess.
Yeah. So,
That's the experience thing.
well, that's, you know, it's what you pay for sometimes, isn't it? So,
I guess if you were the first few, you've made a few mistakes potentially, and
Oh, very
now
much so.
you know, you're a lot more confident in
Yes.
the way to approach it.
exactly. So, it's just, a lot of this is just actually confidence in knowing you're not going to go through.
Is this one of ours, or
This is one of yours, yes.
can I have a little go? Is that
Yeah,
possible?
no problem at all. So you've got one little cut over the back there. So, but can you see that why this takes?
Yeah, I can see why it took you over an hour the first time you tried it. It's really quite a lot harder than it looks, and
It is.
I think it's just a lack of confidence in my
It
part,
is.
because I'm not sure quite how hard to pull it and how hard to stretch.
So can you see? So you've got the fat here and the
Yeah.
skin, and then there you've actually almost gone through to the hair layer.
Yeah, okay.
So there's actually kind of 3 layers on the skin. You've got the outer layer, then you've got the skin part we want, and then
Okay.
you've really. So if you went through that one more time, that would go through as a hole.
Okay, we
So
definitely would avoid that. Then.
You are like literally about a micron away from a hole at the moment. So,
Maybe
so
I'll let the professional people bring it in, and we'll try not to ruin this perfect good skin. You're very proficient looking. Having just tried it, and I'm aware of how hard it is. It would probably take me all day to get anywhere close to getting this done.
but that's what you're paying for, you know. when you pay for a service, like
you're not paying for the time it's taking. You're paying for the time it's taking
to learn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally, we did I think 50 or 60 sheepskins before I really felt confident.
Yeah, and a few hours each. That's quite a lot of learning, isn't it?
It's a lot of learning, and it is one of the challenges we have. Because you know, if we want an apprentice or someone to work for us, and they wanted to do this part of the process, then it's a lot of learning and a lot of investment we've got to put in so they can take on the process.
Yeah. Are you looking to kind of take people on at some point in the future then?
Yeah, I mean, we have got the ability to expand here. We could double in size.
Okay.
It's, we've only been going 2 years now, so we're still learning and we're still doing new things. We just started doing deer skin, for example, and we recently did an alpaca skin as well. So, so we are still a very fledgling business, really.
Sure.
And at the moment, it's just myself and Em. So.
But you seem to be getting through the work. Well, everything seems pretty stacked up. It doesn't seem.
Yeah.
You've certainly got a fair-sized order book by the looks of it, and we've had to wait a while to get our skins in the tank. So.
Yeah, I mean, our current waiting times are normally around 12 to 16 weeks. That's what we try and not be longer than 12 weeks. But then suddenly, we have had some big orders come through of like 40, 50 skins at a time.
Okay.
And we have got one customer that sends us, over 150 skins a year.
Okay.
So we do have some big orders as well.
It's a good balance for you then. You've got some bigger customers and you've got smaller customers like us just doing a few. And,
exactly.
Helps the cash flow having a few small people and a few big people. It's always a nice place to be, to know you've got a few weeks of work in one chunk, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Do you think there'd be many young people looking to get into this as kind of a career?
I don't know. I tend to find most young people these days, if it doesn't involve a mobile phone and a computer, they're not that interested in doing manual labour. I mean, this is actually quite a physical job.
Yeah,
I'm sweating now.
Yeah, I can imagine it.
I normally have a massive fan there to cool me down. And the other problem, the whole business is run off a massive log boiler, which is just the other side of the wall.
So it's always warm in here.
So we have because we've got 10 acres of our own woodland. We have a renewable heat initiative boiler.
Okay.
So that's run on logs, and then that powers a tannery and all drying process.
Fabulous.
And then also heats our house as well.
So sustainable at every point, really.
Exactly. We try and be. It's all trying to be as local as possible. So this is the tail. So you can see there's just a fatty lump on the tail.
Okay.
So I will just try and flesh off now. And this is where I say it's time best to do like 1 or 2 little bits rather than try and get off with one.
I'm glad you're doing that bit, not me.
There you go. So that's a flesh tail. Just that one last bit of flesh. There you go.
And that's the quite a fiddly little section by the looks of it.
Yeah, so the bottom half is always the hardest bit because that's where the skin is the densest and also the hair is the densest on the other side as well. So I mean that's that's a very quick once over, but that's now taken most. You remember what the skin was like beforehand. I mean, I'll go over and just tidy this up, but you can see now we're down to the white of the skin.
And that means the actual tanning will penetrate into the skin rather than being the fat resisting the penetration.
Yeah.
And that's the end of part 1 of the video. Please click on the link below and that will take you to part 2 where you can see what happens next with our fleeces. I hope you're enjoying this so far. Take care. Bye bye.